have Safaria. When you open Safaria, the very top before it gives you all the different books you can read from, it tells you the weekly Torah portion. So it's the Torah portion of Vayishlach, and he sent, and the Haftarah that we read after is from Obadiah. Okay. So on the bottom we have ChatGPT. I said, what's the portion of Torah this week? This Shabbat, December 14th, 2024. Hebrew date 13th of Kislev 5785. The Torah portion is Vayishlach. That's in Genesis 32 to 36, from verse 4 to 43. The Haftarah is from the book of Obadiah, verses 1 till 21. Okay. In Parashat Vayishlach, Jacob prepares to meet his brother Esau, wrestles with an angel, and is renamed Israel, and experiences the tragedy involving his daughter Dinah. The Haftarah from Obadiah prophesies the downfall of Edom and the ultimate triumph of Israel. What's the connection? We know that Esau is Edom, or Edom is Esau. Okay? Next, I want to intertransliteration and intertranslation, okay? So that we can read along and you guys can see the proper pronunciation. So I'm going to go straight to the Haftarah. I'd like to also see the Torah portion after, but this is how it starts, okay? Obadiah 1:1. Chazon Obadiah. Vision of Obadiah. Kai Amar Adonai Elohim. We read the Yud Hey and Vav Hey here, we read it as Elohim. Usually we read it as Adonai, but I can see from the vowel points that here it's read as Elohim, and the reason why is because the word before it was Adonai. And instead of reading it Adonai Adonai, we read it as Adonai Elohim. So Ko Amar Adonai Elohim LeEdom. Thus says the Lord God concerning Edom. Shemua Shamanu Me'es Adonai. Shemua Shamanu Me'es Adonai. Yes, so we heard a hearing, we heard tidings from the Lord. Vitzir Bagoyim Shulach. And an envoy is sent among the nations. Kumu v'nakuma aleha la milchama. Arise and let us and let us rise up against her in battle. Hine katoin nesaticha bagoyim. Behold, I have made you small among the nations. Bazoi ata me'oid. Bazoi ata me'oid. You are greatly despised. Zedain libecha hishi echa. Zedain libecha hishi echa. The pride of your heart has deceived you. Shaychni v'chagve sela miraim shiftoi. Shaychni v'chagve sela miraim shiftoi. You who dwell in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. Oimer beliboy mi yairideni aretz. Who say in your heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Im tagbia kanesher. Though you exalt yourself as an eagle. Ve'im bein kochavim simkinecha. And though you have set your nest among the stars. Misham ayridcha ne'um Adonai. Misham ayridcha ne'um Adonai. From there I will bring you down, says the Lord. Im ganavim ba'u lecha, im shaydidei laila. Im ganavim ba'u lecha, im shaydidei laila. If thieves came to you, if robbers by night, Eich nidmesa, how are you cut off? Haloi yignevu dayam, would they not steal till they had enough? Im baitzrim ba'ulach, haloi yashiru oilelois. Im baitzrim ba'ulach, haloi yashiru oilelois. If grape gatherers came to you, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? Echnech besu esav nivu matspunav. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Ad hagevul shilechucha kol anshe v'risecha. All the men of your confederacy have brought you even to the border. Hishiyucha yachlu lecha anshe shleimecha. Hishiyucha yachlu lecha anshe shleimecha. The men that were at peace with you have deceived you and prevailed against you. Lachmecha yasimu mazar tachtecha. They eat your bread, have laid a wound under you. Ein tvuna boy. There's no understanding within it. Something like that. It only did for me the first few verses. I could probably prompt it to do the rest. But this is just to illustrate you that how easy it is to get a intertransliteration on the Bible if you want to start to read the Hebrew. We have English up here as well. It just won't be transliterated. Okay, so we read the last verse that we read. All your allies turned you back at the frontier. Your own confederates have duped and overcome you. Those who ate your bread have planted snares under you. He is bereft of understanding. Haloi bayam hahu neum Adonai v'ha'avadti chachamim me Edom usfuna mehar Esav. In that day declares God, I will make the wise vanish from Edom, understanding from Esau's mount. V'chatugi barecha Teman l'ma'an yikares ish mehar Esav mikatel. Your warriors shall lose heart, O Teman. Teman is Yemen. Yemenite Jews are called Temani Jews. I mean, Teman means south, but it refers to Yemen, country of Yemen. I think it's south. Teman. It's one of the directions. It might be. I think it's south. And no one on Esau's mount shall survive the slaughter. May Hamas. Here we have, right? We had Yemen, and here we have Hamas. May Hamas achicha Yaakov techasecha vusha v'nechvata le'olam. For the outrage to your brother Jacob, disgrace shall engulf you, and you shall perish forever. B'yom amadcha mineged b'yom shevos zorim cheloi. V'nechon ba'u she'arav v'al Yerushalayim yadu garal gam ata ke'achad mehem. On that day when you stood aloof, when aliens carried off his goods. Wow, that makes me think about all the weird sightings in New Jersey. When foreigners entered his gates and cast lots for Jerusalem, you were as one of them. V'al tera v'yom achicha b'yom nachor, v'al tismach livnei Yehuda b'yom avdam, v'al tagdel picha b'yom tzara. How could you gaze with glee on your brother that day, on his day of calamity? How could you gloat over the people of Judah on that day of ruin? How could you loudly jeer on a day of anguish? Like October 7th, people celebrated, right? Al tavai v'sha'ar ami b'yom Edom, al tera gamata b'ra'asai b'yom Edom. V'yal tishlachna v'cheloi b'yom Edoi. How could you enter the gate of my people on its day of disaster, gaze in glee with the others on its misfortune, on its day of disaster, and lay hands on its wealth on its day of disaster? This day of disaster is mentioned a few times. B'yom Edom. Look, here it's on the top line. The second word is Edom, is their disaster. And now it's the right word on the top line, Edom, its disaster. And again, the same word, its disaster, Edom. It's the day of its disaster. V'al ta'amod al ha'perek lahachis as pilitav. V'al tasker siridav b'yom tzara. How could you stand at the passes to cut down its fugitives? Right, they're trying to escape. How could you betray those who fled on that day of anguish? Now it's a different word, b'yom tzara. It's not b'yom Edom. It's a different word, tzara. Kikara v'yayim Adonai al kol hagoyim. Ka'asher asisa ye'asa lach gemolcha yashuv b'roishecha. As you did, so shall it be done to you. Your conduct shall be requited. Yeah, against all nations, the day of God is at hand. Ki ka'asher shisisem al har kodshi yishtu chol hagoyim. Tamid v'shasu v'la'u v'hayu balo kiloi hayu. That same cup that you drank on my holy mount shall all nations drink evermore. Drink till their speech grows thick and they become as though they had never been. Like you drank on the holy mountain, all the nations are going to drink constantly, and they're going to drink. Wow. Har Zion, Mount Zion. Mount Zion is in like right next to the old city of Jerusalem, right outside the old city. It's where the room of the Last Supper is, where King David is supposedly buried. They have a yeshiva, the diaspora yeshiva there. There's another Chabad yeshiva. There's a couple of yeshivas there on Har Zion. So there's people buried there. Har Zion tia fleta v'haya kodesh v'yershu beis Yaakov beis Moira shehem. But on Zion's mount a remnant shall survive, and it shall be holy. The house of Jacob shall dispossess those who dispossessed them. Mount Zion, I mean, a lot of this is allegorical, so it can be, a physical place called Mount Zion. It can also represent a lot more, right? V'haya veis Yaakov eish, uveis Yosef lahava. Uveis Esav lekash, v'dolku vahem, v'achalum. V'lo yiyah sarid leveis Esav ki Adonai diber. The house of Jacob shall be fire, and the house of Joseph flame. And the house of Esau shall be straw. They shall burn it and devour it, and no survival shall be left of the house of Esau, for God has spoken. Does this mean Esau is going to be killed and die? Are they going to die out? Or does it mean that they're not going to have a kingdom anymore? Their kingdom is going to be consumed, the house of Esau. But it does also say there's not going to be a survivor, right? But that's to the base Esav, right? Exactly, to the house of Esav. So I don't think it has to, I don't know, we can look at commentaries to see what it means, but I don't think it means that all the Edomites are going to be killed. I think it probably means that the governance of Esau is going to be consumed. Oh my gosh, and they will rule over them and kill them, and there will be no survivor left from the house of Esau. This is Targum Jonasy, right? Wait, where does it say they're going to kill them? They're going to destroy them? I don't know. Saying the English is not the same as the Hebrew. It says V'acholom, and they will destroy them. But it could be like a military coup, you know? Who knows? Interesting. Where did God say this? Because it says because Hashem said this. Where did Hashem say this? So they're bringing us to Bamidbar, Numbers 24:19. Out of Jacob shall come a ruler, and he shall destroy him that remains in the city. Okay. I don't know. I'm saying, okay, you know. This is a famous verse. A lot of people know this verse. The straw, the fire, the flame, and the straw or something. Okay, right? We have the house of Jacob is a Aish, is a fire. The house of Joseph is a flaming lava. It's like a flame. And the house of Esau for straw, for kash. Okay, v'yarshu hanegev es har Esav, v'hashafela es Pilishtim, v'yarshu es sedei Ephraim, v'sedei Shimron, u'v'nyamin es Agilad. Thus they shall possess the Negeb, which I think is the south, and Mount Esau, right, the house, as well. The Shephelah, which is like the lower parts, I believe, and Philistia, like the Philistinian lands, yeah. They shall possess the Ephraimite country. I don't know where that is on the border, but it might be like part, I don't know, it might be more territory we need to annex. And the district of Samaria, right, the Shomron, the Samaria, and Benjamin along with Gilead. Gilead, I'm not familiar with where that is either. Okay, but you see there's lands that are going to be repossessed, right? These are lands that are going to be repossessed. Okay. Here, let's see this. And the inhabitants of the southland shall inherit Israel. Shall inherit Israel, who are dwelling in the south of Eretz Yisrael, shall inherit the mountain of Esau, which is at the southern boundary. And the people of the plain shall inherit the land of the Philistines, and Mount Ephraim and Mount Shomron. And Benjamin with the inhabitants of Gilead and the children of Manasseh, whose territory was the land of Gilead, shall spread beyond the borders of Eretz Yisrael on the east. So they're going to take over beyond the borders of Israel, and they're going to go eastwards. Okay, they're just conquering land, whatever you want to call it, annexing. I mean, there's all kinds of rumors and stuff, but apparently 6 communities apparently there's 6 different communities right now in Syria that are Druze communities that have formally requested to be annexed by Israel. They want the Israel military protection and cooperation, and apparently even citizenship. At least I don't know about they're requesting at least that they should be considered to be part of Israel. That's what they're saying. 6 different Druze communities. So it's pretty cool how that can happen without force. I just want to show you the sun. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know how to turn my camera around though. Okay. I think we're almost done. Not the whole book. There's probably a few more verses of the book, but I don't think we read the whole book this Shabbat. I'm curious if we read it next Shabbat, or if it's not read in the yearly cycle, or it's a different week. I don't know. V'golos hachel hazel livnei Yisrael asher kina'anim ad Tsarfas. Tsarfas. I thought Tsarfat was France. So I don't know. V'golos Yerushalayim asher bisfarad in Spain. Yershu es arei hanegev. And that exiled force of Israelites shall possess what belongs to the Phoenicians. That's Lebanon, no? As far as Zarephath, Tzarfat, as far as France. I don't know what. So what, the Lebanese and the French are in on something? I don't know. While the Jerusalemite exile community of Sfarad, of Spain, shall possess the towns of the Negev. I think that's the south, right? You can see clearly a lot of powers at B in a lot of places, and ideas, things that are happening are definitely linked to what we're reading in the portion this week, to the current events and what we're reading in the synagogue. And this exiled host, says commentary Rashi, this exiled host, Hachel, the Targum Jonathan, also a convert who right, so he renders it this people, an expression of a host, similar to what Isaiah 36:2, and he came to Jerusalem with an army of a great multitude, which deals with Rab Sheka, only that this one is missing of Yud. Okay. It's also possible to explain the exile of this valley. Okay, next commentary in the next words, who are with the Canaanites as far as Zarephath, which you said Zarephath is France. The exile, at least today in modern Hebrew, the exile which is of the children of Israel who were exiled from the 10 tribes to the land of the Canaanites as far as Zarephath. And the exile of Jerusalem, which is in Sepharad, Spain, who are of the people of Judah, who were exiled to Spain, Sepharad, they shall inherit the cities of the southland, which are in the southern part of Israel. The exegetes claim that Zarephath is the kingdom called France in French. Yep, France, right? In Sephard, Jonathan renders it Spain. Okay? So what does France and Spain have to do with anything? I think also Spain isn't it Spain who's calling for Israel to be like put on trial for invading Syria right now? I don't know what France has to do with anything. Alright. For liberators shall march up on Mount Zion to wreak judgment on Mount Esau, and dominion shall be God's. Okay? Oh, that's the whole book? Are you serious? No, there's another chapter. No, yeah, it's the whole book. So we read the whole book on Shabbat. I thought there's more, though. I thought there's more. No, there's got to be more. I know why there's no more there, because I didn't go to the book Obadiah. I just clicked on the Haftarah this week. There is more. There's more, and it talks about three things not forgiven, 3 things forgiven. Something. Let's look at it real quick. Gotta find Obadiah right here. What? It's just 21 verses, so we read the whole thing. I thought that, where's the 3 things from? Which book is that? There's another book in the Bible, some of you all might know. For 3 of this, I'll forgive, for this I won't. And it talks about Gaza for kidnapping my people and whole communities. That's why Gaza is destroyed. And that literally happened, right? Gaza came in and kidnapped whole communities, and they were destroyed. And it talks about, there's references in there to Lebanon, Damascus. There's references there also to, I believe also to Jordan. I wanted to look at it. I thought it was in Obadiah. I guess it's not. But there is other references in the Bible, okay? Straight up to exactly things that are happening today. I mean, we say, Ma'aseh Avos Siman Lebanim. The story or happenings of the fathers is a signpost, like a sign for the children. Meaning whatever they went through, they actually went through. When the Bible talks about different things happening, it actually happened back then. But whatever it happened, it's also us. We also experience the same exact thing. Whatever our forefathers went through, we go through. So obviously, you should be able to find everything happening today in all parts of the Bible. But it's very cool that this week's happenings are in this week's Bible portion, you know? So let's go back. Let's read the Tanakh part. Yeah, the Torah portion that we're going to read in the synagogue, okay? We have the learning schedules. Look here, we have learning schedules. So in the Torah portion, we're going to read Vayishlach, and then we have the Haftorah. Besides that, later they instituted modern rabbis in the last, few hundred years at max, daily Talmud, daily this. And, we could probably find things referenced in there also, probably. But for sure, this was instituted by the great sages, probably the men of the Great Assembly. Anyways, here's the portion that we're supposed to read this week, okay? Jacob sent messengers ahead to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And instructed them as follows: Thus shall you say to my lord Esau, thus says your servant Jacob, I stayed with Laban and remained until now. I have acquired cattle, asses, sheep, and male and female slaves, and I send this message to my Lord in the hope of gaining your favor. Vayeshuvu hamalachim el Yaakov lemar, banu el achicha el Esav, v'gam hoylech l'kroscha, v'arba me'os yesh imoy. The messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau. He himself is coming to meet you, and his retinue numbers 400. Yeah, he's 400 men coming. He's coming to attack you, him and 400 men. Vayira Yaakov ma'od, vayetzer loy, vayachatz es ha'am, asher itoy, ve'es ha'tzoin, ve'es ha'bakar, v'agemalim l'shnei machanos. Jacob was greatly frightened. In his anxiety, he divided the people with him and the flocks and herds and camels into 2 camps. I never really thought about this idea before, but maybe that's like you could say that's like the civil war we see in Israel. Not a civil war, but there's a lot of edginess between the right and the left in Israel. So you can kind of say we're in two camps, okay? I don't know. Thinking if Esau comes to the one camp and attacks it, the other camp may yet escape. ויאמר יעקב אלוהי אבי אברהם ואלוהי אבי יצחק אדוני האומר אלי שוב לארצך ולמולדתך ואיטיבה עמך. Then Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham's house and God of my father Isaac's house, O Adonai, who said to me, return to your native land and I will deal bountifully with you. קטנתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך. I am unworthy of all the kindness that you have so steadfastly shown your servant. With my staff alone I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become two camps. Hatzileni na miad achi miad Esav, ki Yahweh anochi oisai, pen Yahweh v'hikani em albanim. Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. Else I fear he may come and strike me down, mothers and children alike. V'ato amarte hetev etiv imach, v'samti es zaracha kichor hayam asher lo yisaf ver merov. That you have said, I will deal bountifully with you, and make your offspring as the sands of the sea, which are too numerous to count. Okay, that's the first portion, corresponding to Sunday. Let's skip now till Friday, yeah? Let's skip a little bit till the last part, Friday. That's the third, it's Tuesday. Wow, we gotta go away. This Thursday? Okay. What happened on Thursday? So, I'm just going to read the English. How about that? Right, so now Dinah, the daughter whom Leah had borne to Jacob, went out to visit the daughters of the land. Shechem, son of Hamor, the Hivite, chief of the country, saw her and took her and lay with her and disgraced her. Being strongly drawn to Dinah, daughter of Jacob, and in love with the maiden, he spoke to the maiden tenderly. So Shechem said to his father, Hamor, get me this girl as a wife. Jacob heard that he had defiled his daughter Dinah, but since his sons were in the field with his cattle, Jacob kept silent until they came home. Then Shechem's father Hamor came out to Jacob to speak to him. Meanwhile, Jacob's sons, having heard the news, came in from the field. The men were distressed and very angry because he had committed an outrage in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing not to be done. But she got raped, very violently and brutally. There's a lot of trauma too. She didn't, at the end, whatever. There's a lot of trauma involved. She had some sort of, when you have a compassion for your captor, what's it called? Stockholm syndrome. Her brother had to make her a certain promise to get her out of there. It was very traumatizing. The whole experience, very shameful and traumatizing and painful. Very bad. Also, we skipped over some things. The fight with Jacob went across the river to retrieve small jugs, and then he encounters an angel who may have been the angel of his brother Esau, right? So there's a lot of things going on in this portion. Shimon and Levi are going to go in and kill all of Shechem. Shechem, by the way, is Damascus. Okay? Shechem is Damascus. I might be wrong, but we say Sha'ar Shechem in English is Damascus Gate. When you go into the old city, they have the Sha'ar Shechem. Shechem, this is the guy who raped Dinah. His name is Shechem, so the gate of Shechem, and in English we say it's Damascus Gate. So I think Shechem is Damascus. So Shimon and Levi in this week's portion, they go into Lebanon, and they trick them with trickery. They told everyone they have to convert or at least circumcise themselves so that there can be an intermarriage between the tribes. And then when they were all weak from their circumcisions, Shimon and Levi went and killed everyone. I don't know what you would say that. I mean, what would you compare that to? The Beepers maybe, but the Beepers was a while ago. I don't know, but something with Lebanon. Okay, so I'm trying to find Friday, yeah? The last little port. Should be almost there. Right, on the third day, so on a Tuesday, right, Tuesday, when they were in pain, Shimon and Levi, two of Jacob's sons, brother of Dinah, took each his sword, came upon the city unmolested, and slew all the males. Betach, it says in Hebrew, not unmolested. It says securely. Betach. They came there, yeah. Okay. God says to Jacob, go to Bethel, build an altar to the God who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau. So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, rid yourselves of the alien gods. Again, again, aliens. Second alien reference. Even though in Hebrew, what does it say? Like strange, but still. Alien gods in your midst, nothing is random. Purify yourselves and change your clothes. Okay. We're still not on Friday, I don't think. I'm just skipping ahead. What? Then they came to Luz. Luz is the Luz bone. We talked about this. Luz bone. I think it's like in the back of your head somewhere. There's a mystical bone and city by the same name. In the city of Luz, no one ever died. There was also a secret entrance. You couldn't get in. You have to go like under a tree or something. It's a mythical city called the city of Luz where people don't die. We also have in Chazal and the sages, they talk about the bone of Luz, where we get resurrected from. There's one bone, a mystical bone that we can never destroy no matter what. And from there comes the resurrection. So very interesting. Let's just read the verse. And they set out a terror, as they set out a terror from God fell in the cities round about, so they did not pursue the sons of Jacob. Okay? So Jacob and his family, no one can mess with them because there's a terror from God. Chitas Elohim, I don't know what that means. Terror, fear, okay. The fear of God. Yeah, the fear of God. Vayova Yaakov Luza, and Yaakov arise to Luz. That's this mystical city bone, which is in the land of Canaan. It is Beis El, the house of God, Beis El, Bethel, and all the nation that is with him. Okay. He built an altar and he called the place El Beis El. Because there was revealed to him the God in his running away from his brother. What? Wow. I didn't even know. Okay. Deborah. Who's Devorah? Which Devorah is this? Which Devorah? Where did we get a Devorah from? I'm missing some of this. Weeping Plain. Who's this? Okay, so, and Deborah died. How came Deborah to be in Jacob's house? Who's this Deborah in Jacob's house? But the explanation is because Rebekah had promised Jacob in Genesis 27:45, then I will send and fetch thee from thence, right? I guess it's when Rebekah told Jacob, go run away and I'll send for you. She sent Deborah to him, to Padan Aram, to tell him to leave that place, and she died on the return journey. I learned this from a comment of Rabbi Moses Hadarshan. Okay? Interesting. Below Bethel, the city was situated on a mountain, and she was buried at the foot of the mountain. Under the oak, the Targum renders it by on the lower part of the plain, because there was some level ground above on the slope of the hill, and her grave was beneath this. The plain of Bethel bore the name of Alon, and Agada states that he there received news of another mourning, for he was informed that his mother had died. In Greek, Alon means another, because the time of her death was kept secret in order that people might not curse the mother who gave birth to Esau. Scripture also does not make open mention of her death. Okay. Interesting, okay? Okay, God appears to him and blesses him. Now he changes his name to Israel. Changing the name from Jacob to Israel, I think, is a pivotal moment we know that Jacob is like a lower state of consciousness. Israel is a higher state of consciousness. Ani El Shaddai, be fruitful and multiply. So we're going back in Genesis. It says Pru Urvu. Here it also says Purei Urve. Going back to Genesis. Also, Shaddai is the name of. We say Hu Sha'amar Le'alam Adai. He who says to his world, enough, stop expanding. Like, I created you ex nihilo. Now stop. This is your correct size. I'm giving you borders and constraints. Right? That's Shaddai. I'm El Shaddai, and then be fertile and increase. Right? Okay, here's the Friday portion, sixth portion for Friday. The land that I assigned to Abraham and Isaac, I assigned to you, and to your offspring to come will I assign the land. God parted from him at that spot where God had spoken to him. And Jacob set up a pillar at the site where God had spoken to him, a pillar of stone, and he offered a libation on it and poured oil upon it. Yaakov, Es Shem Hamakim Asher Diber Itoy Sham Elohim Beis El. Jacob gave the site where God had spoken to him the name of Bethel, Beis El, house of God. Vayisumi Beis El, Vayihi Oid Kivras Haaretz. Lovayefrasa. Bateled Rachel Vatikash Belita. They set out from Bethel, but when they were still some distance short of Ephrath, there's a city today called Ephrath, it's probably in the same general location. Rachel was in childbirth, and she had hard labor. When her labor was at its hardest, the midwife said to her, have no fear, for it is another boy for you. But as she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named him Ben Oni, like the son of my affliction. But his father called him Benjamin. Similar words. Oni, here, you have it, it's the top word on my screen on the left side. It says Ben Oni, son of my affliction, right? And then the bottom word in the Hebrew is Binyamin, what he's actually called Benjamin. But it's similar. So Ben Oni, Binyamin, Benjamin, they both start with a Beis and a Nun, right? Binyamin and Benjamin, it's just a Beis and a Nun. And the top line is Beis and Nun Sofit, the long Nun. Because it's two separate words, right? Ben, and then it's connected by a dash. Tell you to read it together. Oni. It's also four letters, like Yamin. Yamin means right, only means my affliction. They both have a yod in there, and then what separates them are aleph, vav, and a nun. They both have a nun and a yod. So one has a mem and a yod. One has an aleph and a vav. Okay, but they're very similar words. Okay. So this is also very interesting that Rachel dies here, because she dies on the way, right? And that's why she's buried on the way, so that in the exile, the Israelites are able to find some kind of consolation when they're crying at her graves on their way out of exile. That's what the sages have said. So Vatomas Rachel vatikaver b'derech Ephrasa he beis lachem. Thus Rachel died. She was buried on the road to Ephrath. Now beis lechem. Vayatzev Yaakov matzeva al kivurasa he matzeves kivuras Rachel adayim. Over her grave, Jacob set up a pillar. It is the pillar at Rachel's grave to this day. What does that mean, to this day? To this day, it's there. Yeah, until this day, apparently. Okay. Vayisa Yisrael vayet aholoi mehol'a lemigdal eder. Israel journeyed on and pitched his tent beyond Migdal Eder. Vayi bishkan Yisrael ba'aretz hahi vayelech Reuven vayishkaves bilha pilegesh aviv vayishma Yisrael. Pause. The pays a pause. Vayu v'nei Yaakov shnei maser. I don't know what this means, and I don't get the reference to today. But while Israel stayed in that land, Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel found out. Now the sons of Jacob were 12 in number. What does it mean 12? Was he taken out because previously there were 13? Or no, we always counted as 12. What's going on? I don't know. But apparently he didn't actually sleep with her. But he moved his father's bed from the other wife's tent to his mother's tent or something. He did something. He played with his father's bed. Bnei Leah, Bechar, Yaakov, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun. B'nei Rachel, Yosef, B'nei Yamin, B'nei Vila, Shivchas Rachel, Dan ben Naphtali. So he's counted. B'nei Zilpa, Shivchas Leah, Gad Vasher Ela, B'nei Yaakov, Asher Yulad Loi, B'Fadan Aram. Okay, now he's going to Chevron. What's going on in Chevron? Vayava Yaakov el Yitzchak Aviv Mamre Kiryas Harba, Kiryat Arba, that's next to Chevron, or it is, Chevron, it is Chevron. Asher Gur Sham Abraham v'Yitzchak. So Abraham and Isaac were living there. Jacob's coming back there. They did live there, yeah. It all goes back to Chevron. We have to take back Chevron, maybe. I don't know. Chevron is a very, very violent place. When you go to Chevron, there's military everywhere because they really, really hate the Jews. There was a Chevron massacre before the state of Israel. I think it was in 39. I don't know which year. They hate the Jews, and Chevron is very, 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 very militant, Islamist, jihadi, Palestinian, whatever you want to call it. It's like Gaza almost, you know. So Isaac was 180. When he breathed his last and died, Isaac is dying, and he's moving on to Jacob. Now Jacob is really the one to inherit the land. Avram and Isaac are both dead. So he was gathered to his kin in ripe old age, and he was buried by his sons Esau and Jacob. So Esau and Jacob are together now. Is that right? Now, Edom, Ve'ela Tolos Esau who Edom. And these are the children, the offspring of Esau, who is Edom. Esau, Lakach es Nashav mi b'nais Canaan. He took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, from the Canaanites. Es Ada bas Eloin Hachiti. Ves Ahalivama bas Ana bas Tzivain Hachivi. Ada was daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Oholibama, daughter of Ana, daughter of Zibeon the Hivite. Ves Basmas bas Yishmael Achois Nevoyos. And he also takes the daughter of Ishmael and sister of Nevoos. Okay, so he's also taking a wife from Ishmael. He's making all these alliances, yeah? Ateled Ada le'esav es Eliphaz uvasmas yalda es Ruel. Right? Ada bore to Isa Eliphaz, and Basmath bore Ruel. Ve'ahaliva ma yalda es Yeush ve'es Yalam ve'es Koirach. Edla b'nei Esav asher yulidu loi be'eretz Canaan. Okay. So Esau took his wives, his sons, and his daughters, and all the members of his household, his cattle, and all his livestock, and all the property that he had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to another land because of his brother Jacob. So Esau is leaving, and leaving it for Jacob. Right? Everyone's dead. It's just Jacob and Esau now. Meaning they're, right? Avram is dead. He was promised the land to him and his children. Avram had Yitzchak and Yishmael. I don't know where Yishmael is at this time, but Esau took one of his daughters. Anyways, next generation is Yitzchak. Yitzchak had Esau and Jacob. At this point, Esau's leaving, and he's giving it all. It's all Jacob's. Yeah, this is Israel's land. For their possessions were too many for them to dwell together, and the land where they sojourned could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau settled in the hill country of Seir, Esau being Edom. This then is the line of Esau, the ancestor of the Edomites in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Esau's wife; Ada, Ruel, the son of Esau's wife; Basemath. The sons of Eliphaz were Taman. Interesting. Taman is Yemen, right? So Taman is, we have all the, why is he telling us, why do we need to know all the lineage? They're important. These are the places that we're dealing with still today. So the sons of Eliphaz, who's the son of Esau, meaning the grandsons of Esau through this son, is Taman, Omer, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. I don't know what all these places are, but Taman is yeah, we know where Yemen is. These other ones, I'm sure, also are names of countries, because there's children that they were powerful people. The first one, his first son there, Taman, for sure is Yemen, right? The Simna Haisa Pilegash Lalifaz, Benisa Vatelud Lalifaz as Amalek, the Amalekites. Come from Esau, interesting. Timna was a concubine of Esau's son, Eliphaz, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz. Those were the descendants of Esau's wife, Ada. Okay? We have a lot of lineage here. I'm not so familiar with what countries or nations these became, you know? Okay, so these are the clans of the sons of Esau, the descendants of Esau's firstborns, Eliphaz, the clans of Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Kenaz. Korach, Gatam, and Amalek, these are the clans of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. Those are the descendants of Ada. Nahath, Zerah, Shamath, Mizah. I'm sure these are big cities. These are probably the capital cities of big countries, you know. Interesting. Okay, and then you have for Shabbos reading, the seventh day, Shabbat. I don't know. Anyway. The hot springs, interesting, hot springs, right? The sons of Zibeon were these, Aya and Anna. That was the Anna who discovered the hot springs in the wilderness while pasturing the asses of his father Zibeon. Everything's in here somehow. I'm gonna recognize how to take it out and extract and understand what's going on. But all the current events, they're all here. They're all in all parts of the Torah, but specifically the portions that we're supposed to be reading this week. It's very correlating to the events that we've seen this week, you know, and that we will see in the future and now. It's very, very pretty out here in Israel. All are welcome to come through. Let me know when you land. It's going through the history of Edom and different kingdoms. I mean, if you go to history, you can trace these names and figure out really who's who and what's going on. Okay, and then you have the next portion next week. Okay. Now Jacob was settled in the land where his father had sojourned, in the land of Canaan. That's next week already. Anyways, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Shabbos.